litigation, more transaction and corporate work.
And you have contacts abroad also to
Yes.
take up cases in those countries?
Yes. We don't really do much litigation. Sorry. Cross-border work. हमारी एक छोटी which is the place, Jalgaon करके small town में वहाँ amazing success story. Such a small business model. He creates software for the BlackBerry and the PDA in Jalgaon. That software model took off so well because they were only doing internet marketing, and now he said, I want to start an office in America and I want to post 5 people over there. We did it for him. So, and they were not incorporated, they were operating as a sole proprietorship. So we incorporated the company, we used local lawyers over there, set up a company there, did their licenses, because you need license for everything, did their immigration and started them there. So those are the type of cross-border things that we help clients with. This I'm giving you a small transaction example, but we do that for others also. Cross-border work, Japanese firms coming into India to set up businesses, we do that also. We do for even startups in India. We have a film production, one lady who's into film production, she wants to limit her liability, she's incorporating a company. So it's not as if we limit it to only international, anything. That's the, as a startup I can't afford to be picky. Even though I'm 6 years into this, I still think of myself as a startup compared to the 150-year-old law firms. I can't afford to be picky.
So you don't deploy the advocates?
I do. I have advocates. I have a staff of advocates and paralegals, and they're on my full-time staff, so they're on retainers with me, permanent retainers.
Means you employ them case-to-case basis?
No, they sit in my office. So I see the one thing about the legal practice in India, सबके मन में आप बोलोगे आप lawyer हैं तो सबके मन में यही पहले सोच आती है काला कोट, सफेद टाई और कोर्ट में चिल्लम चिल्ली. मैं ये नहीं करती हूँ. मेरे ऑफिस में भी ये कोई नहीं करता है. जब वैसा कोई केस होता है तब हम आउटसोर्स करते हैं, जैसे कि आप बोलते हैं कि engage counsel. That is different. What we are doing is all my lawyers are functioning as solicitors. The word solicitor and lawyer has been eliminated now in the law, but still for additional knowledge, people do the solicitor's exam, which is equivalent to the New York State Bar exam. It forces you to read those acts which you don't read otherwise. That's the advantage.
Just to understand your practice, these IPs that you're talking about, so supposing let's say a company is trying to, they have an idea.
Yeah.
And they're trying to basically ring fence it to see if there are any legal barricades that they have to overcome before they actually start their business. So can they bring an idea to you and you will sort of tell them these are your loopholes,
Yes.
this is where you need to cover up
Absolutely.
so that you're able to function.
Absolutely. We help from that stage onwards, right up to mergers, acquisitions of small firms together. So, and it's all, see, I'm not trying to market my firm, but believe me, even as a startup, take anybody's help, but get advice, your growth will be much better. Sorry. Simple things like your trademark, get it registered. You have a story, get it copyrighted. You're going to give it to a TV channel to produce. Get it copyrighted, put an agreement over there and then give it to the TV channel because they have a reputation of stealing story. And you'll have no way of proving it's yours because you've not done any documentation. You just give it to them. So simple things like that, always better to get professional advice.
ये professional services startups के लिए कितनी affordable होंगी?
Full range है. ऐसी भी लॉ फर्म्स है जो घंटे का $1,000 $50,000 रुपया घंटा लेती है, और ऐसी भी लॉ फर्म्स है जो $6,000 रुपये घंटा में काम करती है. इसलिए यस, और उसको आप कॉस्ट समझ के मत चलेगा, उसको इन्वेस्टमेंट समझ के चलेगा क्योंकि उसका फायदा बहुत होगा. बट आज के माहौल में तो इट्स बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंट टू प्रोफेशनलाइज योर थिंग. सो फर्स्ट थिंग आई रेकमेंड टू ऑल पीपल आर स्टार्टिंग अ बिजनेस इज लिमिट योर लायबिलिटी, स्टार्ट अ लिमिटेड लायबिलिटी कंपनी बिकॉज उसमें आपका रिस्क कम हो जाता है.
और कोई क्वालिटी पैरामीटर नहीं है इसमें कि एक लॉ फर्म है दूसरी लॉ फर्म है दोनों ही आईटी पे काम कर रहे हैं, इसमें कोई क्वालिटेटिव डिफरेंस हो सकता है?
क्वालिटेटिव भी डिफरेंस हो सकता है, इसलिए आप शॉपिंग करो, 4-5 जनों को मिलो, फिर डिसाइड करो कि किसके साथ जाना है. मस्ट शॉपिंग फॉर लॉयर्स.
We are in the West Coast. Predicting the future as well as energy medicine. It's an invention. So what do you suggest? We should get it registration on the method, or on what should we do?
The highest and the best protection you could try to get is patent protection. Now, whether his method is eligible for patent protection, I will not be able to tell you unless I analyze the full. And then for patents, we have a scientist lawyer, a lawyer come scientist who will do the patent filing. She is off counsel. So for him, we have to see first what it is, whether his model merits copyright protection, which is a slightly more tenuous protection. मतलब इतना strong नहीं है मगर फिर भी protection है, or does it merit patent protection? वो एक बार तय हो जाए फिर ही tell you the process.
Now problem is like we also we have a TV show. We show which tries to teach people this matter. So and we also have our workshop. We teach people. So
फिर आपने तो already बाहर दे दिया है सर.
हाँ, so that's what.
It's more difficult to get patent protection क्योंकि आपके पहले किसी और ने भी डाल दिया उसको. सीख गए ना आपसे.
So in that case, what should we do?
There's very little you can do except आपके जैसे कि PowerPoint presentation है उसको आप copyright कर सकते हैं. Because ideas, if your whole thing is only based on an idea that this is the idea of how to do it, an idea cannot get any protection. Only the manifestation of the idea, when it is expressed in the media, can it get copyright protection. So if you're just talking about it and somebody picks it up as an idea, it's not protected. But if you've written it down somewhere, then that writing and what you have written about is protected. So it's not easy to tell you that unless I see what you're talking about. Copywriting, I can advise you myself. Then from that, if I think that you need patent, then I can introduce you to the patent.
This can be treated as a product. This can be treated as a product. This method can be treated as a product, and the product is perfect.
But the product
That
has
is what
to
he has to do. That's all.
No, but even product, whether it qualifies as a product or not, you have to see because it has to be unique, it has to be useful, it has to be technical, it has to have benefit.
Unless there is any objection coming out, maybe they will get it.
I mean, as a lawyer, I personally, if I don't think that it qualifies, I won't even risk my reputation of filing it for patent. That's another thing. I mean, I'm not going to go there and say, like, you know, that I put this for a patent application and patent officer will say, तेरा दिमाग किधर था? वो तो बोला फाइल कर दे. You can't do that. You have to.
And I was told that you can't get it registered in different countries.
Of course you have to. Yes. If it is copyright protection, then under the Berne Convention, you get protection in many jurisdictions. Most of the signatory jurisdictions you get, whoever is a signatory to the Berne. If it is patent, then you will have to get jurisdictional, but you get priority based on the first country where you got the patent registered. So you can get date priorities. They are first in line there. But you have to do the registration every day.
Is it a costly affair?
Yes, it is a costly affair. And you have to analyze a cost-benefit ratio for that because patent filing is highly complex. In India itself, minimum it will cost you 50,000 rupees. In India itself. Not counting the government fees, I'm talking about professional fees. This is the most inexpensive patent cost I have seen. Other than that, if you have scientific formulae, then you need a scientist services and all that, it adds to the cost. I'm talking about the professional legal cost. Then the government fees are separate. Government fees are not really high, but you still need to account. Yes.
What about patent for software? How costly would it be?
Software cannot be patented in India, unfortunately. Unless they are embedded software like their mobile technology, where you use the software which is integral part of a mechanical device in your thing. Then only it can be patented, so you can't. Software protection is only available as copyright as a literary work. So your software program is considered to be a literary work and you get copyright protection. For that you have to make full disclosure to the copyright office. May not be a good idea. Better way to protect is to protect it as a trade secret. By making it known to your team on a need-to-know basis. Trade secret protection requires a lot of discipline within the organization because if your systems are not that tight, then you cannot say it's a trade secret because you are disseminating it easily, then you can't do it. So you have to do an analysis before you start disseminating. Yes.
So we also protect technology in India as an IP because you can say the method or process that you're following can be had an IP.
First of all, I need to tell you what is IP then. Okay, IP IP is made up of 4 or 5 broad and commonly known things. One is trademarks, one is copyright, one is patents. Then we have integrated circuit board designs. We've got trade secrets. We've got many things. 3 main things that you have to deal with in most companies is trademark, copyright, and patent. So when you are talking about it, you can have an innovative method and a product registered as a patent. But you have to prove inventiveness, originality, usefulness, many things.
When you started, have you prepared a business plan kind of thing? When you started, you want to start your business?
Correct. I don't get agitated because I cannot correct it. I can only get agitated about something that I can do. So first of all, you have to identify, is it your fault or not? If it's your fault, call the buddy and say, sorry, it's my mistake, I apologize. Finish, you sorted your problem there. Second is, if it is beyond your control, you call and you tell your office is going to come in at 11 o'clock, I'm going to be there at 11:30, give him coffee, give him a newspaper, make him comfortable and apologize profusely. Because you want the client to be happy. Arrive at 11:30 and say, don't give explanation. Because nobody wants to hear your problems in that. Believe me, nobody wants to hear your problems. Say, I'm sorry because of reasons beyond my control, I apologize. Your whole meeting, the attitude will change because you have gone in with a positive and apologetic attitude. If you're going to go in there, harrowed and give explanations, you're going to set the wrong tone. So what is spirituality helped me to do is identify, was it my fault or not? And drop it if it's not my fault. Another thing spirituality has taught me is that I have to be in at 5:15. I should leave home at 4:15 today. If I leave at 4:30, I cannot yell at my driver, drive fast, I need to be there at 5:15. The fault is mine. I should have allowed for extra 15 minutes. That is what spirituality has taught me to do, is take responsibility for my actions. And I don't call it spirituality. I'm telling you these are living life principles. The moment you take responsibility for your action, your agitation to the whole world will stop. With my mom, like she's getting on in years, so she gets more and more dependent on the domestic help. She used to get so agitated when the domestic help was not there or didn't come on the day she said. So one day I told her, you know what, Mom, you need to understand that she is there to help you. When she's there, enjoy her help. When she's not, then just get on with the work. She's a greatly spiritual person. I got my basics from her as a child, but sometimes along the way you get caught in problem. From that day, she's feeling liberated. You're really right. If she's not there, I'm happy. If she's there also, I'm happy. I'm telling you, it's the most liberating thing. So when I'm talking about women's liberation, I'm not talking about women's liberation as in danga fasa. No, it's empowering women to liberate themselves from problems. Just empower yourself and you'll be liberated. You don't need to put men down to get liberated. You don't need to fight against them. You need to cooperate with them. You will be empowered. You will be liberated.
Second question. What does make women's manager better than a man manager?
I didn't understand what does.
How does I personally believe women are better at HR management as compared to men? How does it happen?
Sensitivity. It's the inherent nature of a woman. We are more emotional. People are basically broadly of 2 types, emotional and non-emotional. Men are generally more non-emotional. That's the nature of a man. That's how your physiological and your mental makeup is. Women are more sensitive to that. They understand that there is more to a person than just the job. They understand that, so they're able to empathize. I think really that helps.
People's attitudes were really changing in the last 10 years, 15 years, or possible
In my profession, I've never had a problem with attitude, except from fellow lawyers. From fellow lawyers, from fellow male lawyers, I hear all sorts of comments. Right from when I started out in 1984, that are you really going to stick around? And then now when they see me sticking around, they say, God, we never thought you'd stick around. That according to me is a negative attitude, but it's their problem. It's not mine.
For me, interesting that your mother taught you Arabic because
she taught us all sorts of things.
Suburban is Arabic is something totally.
We didn't get very far with it, but we still learned it. So then when I went to Dubai or somewhere and somebody said, Alif, that's it, it's ringing a bell. Then I spoke about painting and all that. I spoke about networking. What is networking? Networking means meeting people. जितने लोग को आप ज़्यादा मिलोगे, उतना आपका बिजनेस आगे बढ़ेगा. इसलिए लोगों को मिलो और उनके साथ कनेक्शन बनाओ. अभी आप किसी को मिलते हो जो पेंटर है, पेंटर को भी कॉपीराइट की जरूरत होती है. He needs a lawyer to copyright his painting. But how do I connect with him? So I talk to him about oil painting, about oil on canvas, about water on paper, whatever. जितना भी आर्ट का नॉलेज है उधर आप शो ऑफ कर दो. उनको आप ऐसे महसूस होने दो कि this person knows your business, knows what you are doing. You know, your attitude is not to show off. You are just going to use that to build that connection. The moment you have that connection, you build a network. So to connect with people, your diverse experiences help a lot. They help so much. I talk to people who are in, let's say, coffee plantation in Brazil or tea plantation in Darjeeling or wherever. I'm able to tell them कि मैं भी कई सालों tea estate में रही. I'm able to tell them my estates have gone, my life over there is over. There's nothing, but I'm able to use that experience to connect with this person, and it just builds a rapport. So all your experiences you use as connectors. I call them connectors.
One more question.
Yeah.
Trademark. This is. I mean, each time a new one comes up, you can't go and register that.
You should.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to track. It's expensive, and I've lost something in China. I've lost. Is it worthwhile?
It is worth complaining. There is a central organization called ICANN, ICANN. So you complain to them and you show priority of use, and they will ask the other person to see
There
them.
could have been kind of something identity that we sell it when he wants.
Yeah.
$10,000.
So what do I do?
He called me on he called, he sent me an email and asked me to be interested in the domain. I did not register.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, registering and not be registered, asking me for.
So this is where you have to be very, very diligent. Since I am in the legal profession, I handle all my husband's legal work and all his trademark and everything. So once he got his 4 domain names and somebody is registering, what do you want to do about it? Similar. So he immediately called me and said, this phone call came, what should I do? So I took it on to him. Since we know what the nature of this thing is, you should register. It's not that expensive. And do 10-year registrations and keep it so that you don't have to watch it every day. And then even there are companies and software that will help you manage that. It's worth it. Because if you're building a global company, you want to be able to have a .mx and a .jp and a .everything.
The other question is that on a website, you're collecting information from all over. I know that you're giving acknowledgement, but some places it's a common knowledge. You know, you tend to change the look and the feel, but is it? Are you walking the kind of?
You are. It's plagiarism. And plagiarism.
Plagiarism, but it's like steel grades.
What is steel grade?
A grade, the equivalent of steel grades, European grade, French grade, or.
So what do you do then? You are.
See, we have a steel business, which is a family business, and I have to try to make it to a global business, and we want to register the right thing. We actually had that as a tagline we had 20 years back, and managed to get the trademark for it and the domains for it.
So no, my question is, you say, let's say we are talking about European steel grade, okay?
Yeah.
Now European steel grade has got X in the proportion of Y and Q in the proportion of Z. So that's their composition, right?
Yeah.
Now are you using the exact same composition?
Yeah, because it's
Okay, so if you're using that same composition, you have to check whether that composition has been patented. If it has,
you're not producing it. You're just putting the grades in the chemical composition of a particular grade, or its equivalent in the Japanese grade from another website or something.
why are you doing that? For what?
It just helps people to kind of, if they want to know, if they're buying a European grade and they want to know the Japanese equivalent.
Of course, and you're just collating information that you're fine. But you must give the source. You must say that reference sites. You must give the links to those reference sites. So people know that you're attributing it to the correct source. And that will add more credibility also. Yeah.
When you started, you said you started late, right?
Yeah.
You said
I started this format late.
yes. So you said you wanted to start that because you had a time, right? So my question is, when you started, what was the motto of Was that money? Was that fame? Was that to use your time for betterment or to help other people? You know, what was the exact motto to start that?
Two, three things. One is to keep busy. You know that as your kids grow older and you grow older, if you don't have an occupation, you're going to become a burden. You're not going to be, not going to have any value. Not only to others, even to yourself. What are you going to do? So, one is to keep yourself occupied. Second is I like the intellectual stimulation. I like that. I enjoy that. Third is yes, pro bono work. I do a lot of pro bono work. I am Habitat for Humanity, if you've heard of that. Habitat for Humanity builds houses for poor people. I am their lawyer. We do all their legal work. We do their legal work free for them. We do it for many other organizations also. And I have never met their trustees. So I have not done it with the objective of getting the trustees' work, which I have explained earlier, but we do it for them. I never meet these people. They email the work to us, we do it and we send it back. So we do, I like this pro bono work. Fame I have never ever worked towards. I never worked towards it. I don't think I'm famous, but yeah, I'm having fun. So that is there. And what are the other objectives? To make money, I really don't know how much money I'll make at the end of it, because I make a lot of money, but my business is, I'm always investing it back in the business. So, I mean, I'm calling it business, but investing it back in the practice. So, I don't know at the end of it whether I will die with an extra 2 crores. I don't know. But just now I'm just growing. Pro bono work is free work, no fees. That's called pro bono.
Can you spell it please?
PRO. PRO is one word. BONO is another word.
From trying to start from the time it takes you to reach your goals, like any particular period
I didn't start like that. I started it like this. I only took a table space in my husband's office and I started. So I was not using any extra resources. Okay? So that was one thing. If I didn't have that, I would have started from here. So it's not as if that if you don't have a husband who can't support you, you can't start. It's not like that. Very often, like my son was in the 10th standard and for 4 months I sat at home and worked while he was doing his exams. So I used to have a home office also. So I was not spending any on that. I only had a laptop. And that was the laptop I had used for my education. So I used only that. So me and my laptop. So we started getting a little bit of money, took on my first employee. So I was not in loss at all, because in the profession there's not that much investment. I didn't have to buy machine equipment or anything. Yes, totally. So there is no gestation period like that for a legal practice, because the day I start giving advice, people start paying me.
and I have sort of business
I would advise you to do that. What is your business?
it's executive search firm.
I would definitely advise you. Let's say, for example, you are in executive search. The executive you placed in XYZ company is a multinational company. He embezzled funds from that and he went away and they tell you, you did the background check. Now give us, you will compensate us for the loss. What are you going to do? You'll be wiped out personally. Your jewelry, your house, your everything goes there. And the more globalized we become, the more risk there are of such things.
It will be rough, like more expensive.
The minimum share capital has to be 1 lakh of rupees, and your professional fees for that, because you need a company secretary. You don't always need a lawyer. It's optional, but you have to have a company secretary, and you have to have 2 directors and 2 shareholders. So you will have some expense of. You should at least budget for about 40,000 minimum. And 1 lakh of investment. The investment is in the company which you're going to use to grow your business. So that's not a loss. So minimum, if I'm not mistaken, it will be 40 to 50. But don't hold me to that. I mean, I don't remember government fees in my head all the time.
But limited liability partners are also something.
Yes, they've started limited liability. Yeah, as of March 3rd, it has started. The first limited liability partnership was registered in Delhi, but still is not that widely used, because everybody is waiting and watching. Now let's say, for example, hers is a sole proprietorship. She's built a goodwill, she's got a business in that. Now she's setting up the LLP. The LLP is a separate entity. When she has to transfer her assets and her goodwill from the sole proprietorship into the LLP, there will be capital gains tax implications. How is all that going to pan out? So people are waiting and watching.
Ours is a partnership company, and I'm going to say that maybe I should go for a limited.
Yes, so but ask your chartered accountant, what will be the implications of transferring your assets and goodwill from your partnership to the LLP, because the LLP is a new new entity, separate, treat it as a separate body. There is no provision in the law to convert yours into the entity. It is a separate entity and then you have to transfer everything to that. So you need to be very careful. I am also waiting and watching.
And ma'am, can I give you certain tips to expand the company? Like it's like 2.5 years almost now. I started from my residence. Now it's like I am being able to take office space and now employees there. Now, you know, the recession was there, but now it's slight problem to expand it. I had an intention of expanding it around.
How did you grow it so far? Tell me what have you done so far?
So far, ma'am, I worked